Wanted to give you an update on Alpha Bravo. So all of our focus we do still have some things that we're still finishing up on Alpha, obviously, but Bravo is well underway, and we actually had an opportunity to tour the inside of the building a couple of weeks ago, and Andrew and I took some pictures, of which some of them are included here, but wanted to give you a sense of how well things are coming along. So this is these first two pictures are of the courtyard between the parking garage and Bravo, the main building of Bravo. The first picture is looking north, out towards the, and you can see how the entire courtyard has sort of come together. And you can see somewhat in that picture, most members will park on that first floor of the parking garage, which will be all reserved for membership. And then they will walk from there across the courtyard into our member service center, which will be on the first floor of Bravo. That's important as you look at that second slide, which is just looking at the same thing from a different angle, actually looking south, essentially, as opposed to looking north. Right where you look at that picture, and it's maybe a little hard to see, but if you put your glasses on, or if I expanded the picture, you could see. There's an empty bed flanked by benches. Right in the middle of that courtyard between the parking garage and Bravo, and that is where the Umlauf statue will be located. And so we are moving it when we move our headquarters. What's interesting, and I think I may have mentioned this to some of you before, but the Umlauf statue as it currently sits outside of our building, the base is not part of the statue. The base is just there to sort of emphasize the statue. However, the base does make it a little inaccessible to members when they want to take a picture in front of the statue. So when we move it, we're not going to have the base. It'll just be the statue itself, which is essentially life-size. And so members will actually be able to get right next to it and take a picture of themselves next to it as they come in. And we think that'll be really cool. And we're really looking forward to making that transition.
Refresh my memory, please. Is there a covered walkway for members to go from parking to where they're being serviced?
So not if they walk across the courtyard the way we're envisioning on most days, but there is a way for them to get into the building in a covered way. It's just sort of, so if you look on that first picture, that's actually taken from the second floor terrace. Which means that members could come out of the garage and walk under that terrace and enter the building, and they would have a covered walkway the entire way in.
So is that what we're looking at in the second picture, that joins the buildings?
From there.
Yeah, so in
The far end?
And the far end, yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's it right there.
Okay, right there,
That's the
yeah.
walkway,
Okay.
So
That's it.
but it's only on one end of the building, but.
it's only on one end of the building, but as I said, most members will be parking on that first floor because it'll be all reserved for them. And then the interior construction is also well underway. The way the construction works on the interior is that they start at the top and they work their way down. They've actually got a lot of shell done for the first several floors. The sixth floor is the most complete. We did take a number of pictures there. Didn't want to bore you with those because it's basically just walls and such. But it is impressive the amount of work that they've done to start building out that floor, and it continues down. But I did want to give you a sense of how things look on the first and second floors, in particular where the boardroom will be. So you'll recall that the boardroom will be on the second floor, and that members will have an opportunity, if they want to actually take the stairs up to the boardroom. That's that stairwell that you see in that first picture, leading up to where the boardroom will be. And then the pictures on the right-hand side are of the actual boardroom itself. Now, it's a little hard to see, but if you look closely at those pictures, you can see drawings on the floor, which is actually where the walls will be, where the dais for the new boardroom will be, and so forth. And so this is looking, both pictures are looking towards the boardroom as if you're entering from the back, where member seating will be, and then there'll be a dais, and then behind that dais will be the board area where you can go and you can take a call if you need to, or there will also be a conference room specifically for executive sessions where the trustees can retire to, as opposed to asking our members to leave the boardroom as we currently have to when we go into executive session. Any questions about any of the pictures, or Andrew, anything that you'd like to add that I may have missed?
No, I think you covered it well.
Thank you.
Scheduled move date?
So that's a great question. Moving to this next slide, that answers that question. We are now targeting an early to mid 2025 move-in date. We believe it'll be the spring of 2025, but you know, we were very impressed with the progress that we've made. Things are moving along very quickly, but with some of the last details, we do anticipate having. We thought maybe we'd be able to move in by the end of 2024, but that's just not going to happen. But we do believe by the spring of 2025, we will be fully moved in to that new building. You can see the shell construction is scheduled to be completed at the end of this month, and it's probably 95% completed today. There's just a few details I need to finish up, and it's really just on the first floor where they're doing that. And then the improvement construction has already started. It started before the holidays and is well underway, as I mentioned. They've already built out the sixth floor, and they're almost done with the fifth and moving down one after the other. The tenant improvement construction completion date should be the December of 2024. And at that point, really the delay or the timing of when we move in will be up to the city and passing muster with all of the inspections that have to be done and so forth. And that's why we're targeting a cautious date of spring of 2025, because we can't really predict how quickly or how not quickly they might move in terms of approving some of those things.